Alright, so in the previous video we saw that we can very well write down the programs on in Notepad as well, and we can execute those programs on the command prompt as well. But the basic challenge what we had with the command prompt was, or with the plain editor was, that the plain editor doesn't have any intelligence, right? That's the reason we need to go for some standardized IDE for something called as Eclipse, for example, right? Now the next thing is, how do I, from where do I get the Eclipse, right? That's the question. So of course, if you are in a project, or if you are if you're working with some organization, of course you're not supposed to download it from internet, right? You would get this Eclipse from their repository, right? The software's repository. But but in case if they ask you to do it, or if in case if you want to do it on your machine, how do you get started with Eclipse, right? So guys, Eclipse is again a open source IDE. Okay, so all you have to do is just go to Google, okay, and just say here download Eclipse, right? Like this. So the very first link you can say is Eclipse downloads, right? Now, since Eclipse is a software, of course, Eclipse is a ID, it's a software, right? So there are few versions to Eclipse, right? Flavors. So the latest one is Oxygen, right? Earlier to that was Neon, then Mars, then you have Helios, then Kepler, like so and so forth, right? So there are different versions of Eclipse available in the market, right? Or other different flavors to Eclipse, right? So the latest one is Oxygen, right? And earlier to that there was Neon. Oxygen is recently released by them, okay? Now remember, Eclipse is not a executable, right? It's a package, okay? It's a package. All you have to do is just download that package, and that package comes in the form of zip file, right? So you have to download that package from their website and just unzip it. Okay, we'll see that just a second. Unzip that package and launch the Eclipse. That's it. Okay, as simple as that, right? So if you go to the website now, just a second. Okay, so if you go to website now, uh, over here straight away you would see get Eclipse Oxygen. As I mentioned, Oxygen is the latest Eclipse, right? So just say download. Now depending on what type of machine you are using, whether it's a Windows 32, okay, or it's Windows, let's say 64-bit, right? Depending on that, guys, you need to install, or you need to download the respective packages of the Eclipse, right? So let's say my machine is Windows 64, so I'm gonna straight away click on this button and it will download the package of the Oxygen Eclipse, right? But in case you have a different machine, you need to click on download packages, because 32 is not mentioned over here. So just click download packages. Just a second. Okay, now you'll come to this page, right? Now if you notice here, now Eclipse is also used for different purpose, right? For example, Eclipse can be used for EE developers, that's enterprise edition developers, right? Or maybe it can be used for C sharp, C++ development. Okay, so it depends. Okay, what is the purpose of Eclipse? Okay, now the purpose which we gonna uh, the Eclipse, we gonna use it for, let's say, Eclipse IDE for Java developers. Okay, we're gonna use for this particular category. So now just select this category and just download the respective Windows version Eclipse. For example, whether it's a 32-bit or a 64-bit, right? Let's say if I click on download, so you'll notice that a download is getting triggered, right? So just say download. See, you'll very soon you will see that the download is getting kicked off. One second. Yeah, do you see a download is happening on my machine, right? Now I had downloaded this in past, so let's not wait for this download, right? So if you see, when you download the Eclipse, this gets downloaded as a zip file, right? Like this. Okay, if you see, I had downloaded the neon version as well as oxygen. Now all you have to do is, guys, okay, just unzip this particular folder so that you will see a folder like this getting created when you unzip a file, right? So just expand this folder and go within Eclipse folder, and here you would see a Eclipse icon, right? Now all you have to do is that just double click on this Eclipse icon. Okay, so you will see a Eclipse is getting launched like this. Okay, so it's taking some time, like this. Okay, now whenever you launch Eclipse, okay, the very first thing it gonna ask you is for the workspace basically, right? And what is the workspace? Workspace is nothing but a location on your machine where you want to create the Java projects or where you want to write down the Java program. So it's just a location, right? So workspace is nothing but a location. So you can definitely browse the path, right, wherever you want. For example, I want it in S drive or G drive, F drive, depends, right? So let's say I'm gonna say I want to have it in the S drive. Okay, and the name I'm gonna say, let's say, for example, I can give any, for example, Jan, or for example, Selenium Java, let's say Jan temp, like this. Okay, I'm gonna create a simple workspace under S drive, right? And just say let's launch, that's it. Okay, like that. So it's gonna create a folder under S drive. So if you notice, just a second. So if you notice, guys, I have created under S drive. Okay, and what was I have, the name I have given was Selenium Java. Just a second. See, do you see, it has created Selenium Java Jan temp. This is the workspace it has created basically, right? And this dot metadata is a folder which is associated with your Eclipse, right? Okay, let's move on. Okay, now when you launch Eclipse for the first time, okay, you will see a welcome page. You can just close this welcome page. It's just an informative page around your Eclipse, that what all features it offers. So you can just close this welcome page, right? Now guys, Eclipse primarily has three sections. Okay, on the left hand side you have a package explorer, in the middle you have a editor, and then at the bottom side you have a console basically, right? Now let's try to create a very first project, right? So on the left hand side, go to file, just say new, and you can say something called as Java project, or you can also right click on this area and you can also say create new project, right? New project, right? It's one and the same, right? So let me do that. Okay, for example, I'll say new and I'll say a Java project. Okay, now guys, whenever you are learning anything, try to be organized. Okay, try to create give proper names. Okay, and try to be organized. So I'm gonna, let's say module 1 and let's say 2, because we're gonna have one project for module 1 and 2. Let's say module 1 and 2, and let's say this is Java introduction. Okay, and just say finish. Don't change any settings. Okay, just say finish. Now when you do finish, okay, so if you see, a project is getting created in my Eclipse, right? This project got created, right? Just a second. Okay, right? Now of course, if I go to my workspace, okay, there I should see a project which I have recently created, right? This is module 1 and 2 Java introduction. And if you try and understand the structure of this project, it will have a source folder, a bin folder. So your src folder will have the source code file, the .java extension files, whereas your bin folder would have the .class files basically, right? The post compilation files, right? Now since this project, the Eclipse project which I created, does not have any any files created in it, right? Just a second. That's the reason the source folder was empty over there. Now let me create a very simple program. So just right click on source, just say new and class, right? And just say here, let's say test program like this, okay? And just check this checkbox. We'll come to these concept in some time, not now, okay? So just give the name of your program, name of your class test program, and just check this box and just say finish, okay? So if you see guys, you would notice that a Java file is created under source and with a default structure like this. So this is the class name which I had given, and it has a main method as well. Remember we checked a checkbox, so that checkbox created this main method as well, right? Now under this main method I'll simply write down a simple line, okay? Just a second. Okay, I'll just say here hello, how are you, okay, like this, okay? And that's it, and just execute this program, okay? So if you see here, this is a button, run test program. I can execute it from here. This is one option, okay? It is just, this is a pop-up just for save this program, and just say okay. So if you see, I got an output on my console, hello, how are you, right? The another way is you can also right click on this particular program and say run as Java application, okay? Again this program got executed, right? Now you must be having a question in your mind, where is the compilation happening over here, right? So whenever you create any Java program in Eclipse, the compilation would happen automatically and its respective class path is placed. If you notice here, this is the project under my workspace, right? So if you see here under source, I created test program.java. Now the moment you create a Java program in Eclipse, its compilation would happen automatically in Eclipse and its .class file gets created, right? And that is how you're not noticing the compilation over here, okay? So you can also, so there is a auto compilation happening in the Eclipse, right? You can also go to project. If you uncheck this particular setting, the compilation will not happen automatically. In that case, you need to do it on your own. You have to build the project, okay? Let's say I uncheck this setting like this, okay? Let's say I'm creating another program, let's say second program like this. Again check this checkbox and just say finish, okay? Now if I go to my this project, okay, here if you see src has second program being created, but if you see the bin folder, it doesn't have the .class file, right? So now you need to right click on this project and just say build project, okay? As I said, this is a manual step if you uncheck that option, right? And again, if I go here, you would notice a second program being compiled and its .class file is placed in a bin folder. So this is a very important thing, guys. You need to understand that whenever you create a project in Eclipse, it has source and bin folder. Source will have the .java file, and then bin folder will have the compiled files basically, okay? All right. Now there are a couple of things here. For example, if you see the font of this particular program is very small, right? So how do you change the font? As I mentioned, Eclipse is a tool, right? It's IDE, so it will of course give you a lot of features. So if I want to increase the font of my editor, all you have to do is right click on this particular editor, go to preferences all the way down, okay, and over here click on general, okay, let's say appearance, colors and font. Now if you see, I want to increase the font of Java editor, so expand Java editor, just say edit, okay, change the font to 16 for example, like this, and say apply. So if you notice in the background, the font got increased. Now at the same time, let's say I want to also increase the font of my console, right? Console and editor, these are two different windows. So again, go to debug and say here console font, again say edit, let's make it 16 like this, and just say apply. Okay, like this. So do you notice the font got increased over here, right? Now guys, you can close this unwanted task, this outline on the right hand side. Okay, so if you see, I just have left hand side project explorer, in the middle I have editor, and I have a console over here, right? Now you can also drag drop this console on the right hand side as well. Okay, it's up to you. Like this, I can do like this as well. Okay, these are couple of the features which your IDE offers you basically, right? Okay, now, so I hope now this video has helped you understand what is Eclipse, how do you download its packages. Eclipse comes in different flavors, Windows 30 to Windows 64. How do you create a sample workspace? Under that workspace, how we have created a project. Under that project, we created two programs basically, and then we try to execute those programs, right? I hope this was clear to you, right? Because we're gonna use Eclipse on frequent basis, right? Every program we're gonna write down in Eclipse henceforth, right? All right. All right, guys, thanks for watching this video. So in the upcoming video, so if we go through the syllabus, just a second. Okay, so in the upcoming video, we're gonna start with these two concepts, data types in Java and what do you mean by typecasting. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye bye.